Welcome to the Clark Gets Grounded Show. Today's episode is Clark Rants on Homeshare Hoedown, an episode for Big City Greets and Gets Grounded. So before I'll start this video, keep in mind that I like Homeshare Hoedown. I think it's way better than the worst episode, No Service. So, if any of you hate Homeshare Hoedown, I'm fine with your opinion. Enjoy the show! I cannot believe Jesus couldn't have Homeshare Hoedown than like No Service. That's it. I'm gonna make a rant out of this episode. A couple minutes later, done. Now it's time to review this episode. Before I'll start this rant, to anyone who likes this show, then start like Pornhub and Rule 34 right now. Anyways, hope you love the show. Homeshare Hoedown? No, more like Homeshare Dummy Down. Oh my goodness, this show sucks. This episode for Big City Green sucks. Let me prove the invalid reasons why I hate this episode. The episode begins when Cricket reopens the cafe to take his outfit off. And he was happy, and he has a item. Then he ate it, and Gloria was, here's to him. But he spit it out and returned it. And then he's smiling and jokes with Gloria. Then Gloria take her apron off. Then Cricket was explaining. Then Gloria has her phone and shows share BNN. And with the money, and Cricket was talking about those things he has done. And he's smiling at house. Then he was happy with the home share. And then he has a food. Then at the table, they were chatting. And Cricket looks furious and he's smiling. Then he has talking about the home share. And then Cricket looks mad and he happy. And then Tilly has a food and feed it to his animal, her animal. And Cricket has apple juice and drinks it. And he has a cake. And hours later, he's looking at the magazine like Mr. Kling Kling. And Toys magazine. Then he hears the doorbell and he runs off. And then he opens the door. Then the visitor, Val, takes a picture of him. And he goes, I am Justin. And I'm Val. And I'm Justin. And I'm Val. Then Val takes a smile. And Justin Dickey was a tour guide, and he smells, and then talks to Val, and he gave him a hit, and then he said, "Come on inside," and Val looks excited, and then Justin enters here and takes a tour of the house, like the living room, hallway, and Justin goes to the granny's room, and he have a country grandma. Then Val and Justin was looking at their room. And then they enter. And then they got their suitcases. And then he got their embarrassing underwear. And they took it off. And then he pushes Dad out of the way. And then they closed their door. Then Cricket enjoys with the popcorn. Then turns on the TV and watch the Wild Wild West. And then they are at their faces, and they talk with that kid, and they sit on the couch, and they're laughing, chatting, and then Val smiles, and then Cricket and Bill was doing his dishes, and then Cricket looked grouchy, and he said, let's go do some chores, and they go, yay, and they are chickens, and then he was getting the hedge, then they take a picture of them, then the chickens fight him off. And then the cows, and then they touched it, and he got angry and then kicked him, then towards the fence, and then shows off people who were at the cafe, and then they got their animal, and Val and Justin plans, and Val rides on the sheep, and Justin's on the goat, then Cricket splat on the mud, and as they ride together, and then he got the sneaky idea, and they talked about Justin, and then fortunately, they were excited, but they gasped there, and they went under the house thing, and then they locked them up. And then he was wishing, and he got them a smile. And then he enters his room, and he sleeps, but he wakes up. And then Val's phone says, "Have a great time," 2 likes, and they got their suitcase, and they unzipped his suitcase, and Val and Justin just came on their Cricket's bed, and he escaped, and then he just talked to Val and Justin about them, and then they got their rooms, and then they touched their food, and Cricket looks angry at him, and then Val takes a picture of him, and then he looks angry, and then Val touched the wood from the ladder, and he said, "Is that real wood?" And Cricket said, "It's made out of wood." And he got their dinner cookies. Gross. And then Val and Justin were smiling, and Cricket was, and he placed it on the chair, and he got out along with Dilly. Yeah. At night, they were sleeping, and then he can't sleep due to there's noises, and Val was talking to that kid, and then she closed the door, and then he kicked out of the side of bed like being in a bad mood, and was moaning, and then they were out of the bed sleeping, and he was on his underwear. Haha, he deserves it. And he just talked with the diddly when he's naked. And then he's talking about them. And as they are doing the jobs in Gloria Cafe, and they got their clothes that they have wearing, and Gloria gets mad at those kids, as Val and Justin were doing in the bed, but they saw Cricket and Tilly look fresh. They saw suck. And Val said they just become hip and looks like this, and they were wearing their fresh outfit, and see Mr. Pickles leave the jar. That's Mr. Pickles' Adult Swim. And then Val was obsessed with the kids' book or something. And Val, they touched them floor, and then they did their yoga exercises, and then they fade, and then they got off their blanket, and then they were doing their emotionals, and then break the TV, and then Cricket Bill was looking at them, and then Val and Justin saw those kids, and they were telling about they about to leave, and then they were talking about the things they had done, and Bill was talking to him about those visitors, and then he was getting mad at him, and then he got him so upset, and then they were shaking, and they have a great idea, and then Bill was looking at it, and then they bagged their bagels, and they about to look outside, and then they were doing their home share, and then they got their cups, and then the music, and then they spin with the sheep that Val rides on, and then Val and Justin is about to leave, bring their suitcase and get in their car, and they left, and Cricket was looking at him, and then you see, and then Gloria was looking at it, and they still go home. Anyway, and that's what the episode goes. Who likes this episode? His Kiko. He likes this episode better than No Service. Well, he needs to start hating that episode right now. And do you know who hates this episode? Me. I wish I can get Val a wedgie and Justin too. Screw Homeshare Hoedown and screw Urban Legend. If you like this episode, then SpongeBob SquarePants is a ripoff to Bubble Guppies. Anyways, No Service, which is my episode, will be forever a million times better than this awful episode. If you hate this episode, then start liking this episode No Service right now. Anyways, end of rant.
Clark, I can't believe you made a rant video out of Homeshare Hoedown. You know he find that way better than our worst episode, Big City Greens, no service. That's it. You are grounded until Hiya Henry will get banned forever in all countries. Go to your room right now.
The end. The next episode will be Clark rents on urban legend and gets grounded. It will be right after the request plan when I'm going to premiere later. Clark swaps the bathroom signs and gets grounded. We'll present an unknown character who entered the wrong bathroom as men and women. Then Clark misbehaves at the Queen Elizabeth's funeral and gets grounded. I'll premiere them later in about a day or two.